I just picked up my phone. I was gonna look at TikToks or something. And when I picked it up, it said 444 on the 22nd. I was like, okay, I gotta just start. I don't know what that was about that. But 444 on the 22nd. That's a lot of twos. And Ruthie is harassing the shit out of me. And I just got a cup of tea. So bear with me on that one. Oh yeah, and I'm hyper focused on my tooth and my hair, honestly. I had my hair pulled back. Whatever. Oh, I put my hair back, which is so weird when I cut so much of my hair off. Oh my God, stop it. Is how much hair is gone. I used to go reach my arm all the way. I had to stretch my arm all the way to touch the end of my hair. And so now where it just comes to like right here, it's like, oh my God, so weird. Stop. God, she's a harasser. But I pull it back when I put the oil on my face because it gets my hair so oily. And I was sitting there looking yesterday. I was feeling so defeated. I still feel just like, oh God, it's so hard to keep going and not just want to give up. I'm just not going to get out of my bed. I'm just going to, you just got to keep going and keep going and keep going. It's like, oh man, how, God damn. And it's not like, well, I just want the world to end so the world gets better. It's like I've been doing things going in a direction that it's like things can change at any time for anybody. It's like I'm talking about my own personal, There's lots of times when you're just like, why have you forsaken me? What the fuck do you want from me? Even though I'm not talking to a God, but when you're talking to your higher self or the self of you that is the all-knowing, it feels like you are talking to some type of God over you. And it's like, because they have the awareness of what is, and you have to trust. It's like it's kind of like this experiment of you being blind and having to walk with someone who knows the way, and they're telling you, and you have to trust them that you're not going to run into things and fall into holes and shit. And it's like, and if you do fall into a hole, it's because you're supposed to learn how to get out of it. It's like, this is quite the game. So, anyways, I'm feeling very forsaken right now. I'm gonna move this a little bit because she's out of the way now. Gosh, she just is a harasser. So, anyways, when I was pulling back, I was like, oh my God, it is completely just gray or white everywhere. It's like I felt like I was going backwards again. I felt like it was like I got all these silver streaks in my hair again, and all this new hair growing in looks silver to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm going backwards. Do I need to drink more copper? What am I doing wrong? I don't understand. And then I don't even know, man. I don't know. I'm just really, and you can't just like think, like I'm just going to turn my hair, because your hair is telling you what's missing in your body. So your hair is trying to communicate with you of what it is that you need. And it's just, I don't know. When you're trying to, lots of people aren't even trying. They're not even try, they're not even going in that way, not even thinking in that direction. But when you are, and you're actively going in that way, and it just feels like you're just, running up a waterfall, then it's just like, oh my God, what do I need to do? And because I know 100%, I believe aging is fake. I believe that is their way of hiding what they're doing to us, is just tell us that we're aging, and then they create this whole death thing. Today I have this giant like thing, this James Dean thing going here or something. But But anyways, so that was getting to me. And my tooth. Like I've done I've been doing all this stuff. It was like, uh, it's like, this part up against this edge is like a black hole, which I don't know if it's just because it's deeper back there and it just looks so black, or, what's going on. But it feels like, is it even fucking healing? Like, what the hell? Like, is it gonna break more? Is it fragile? Like, it's just frustrating. I gotta keep those parts. Like, your tooth would be talking to you too. And for how much I put effort into taking minerals, then it would have to be, I would say, well, my copper cups are fake. But then it would be like, well, they were working before. And then I have all this iron, like extra iron at this point. And what are the other things? Like moringa even does that. There's all these different things that change your hair. I can't remember. There's a vitamin 2. It starts with an S. Oh my God. I take it every day. Still, just come out here, okay? Oh my God. She just whines at me. And I was like, what is it you want from me? I just want to whine at you. It's like, God damn. I swear to God, I'm losing my mind. Probably already have. I would just like to go into a dream and just come out in the dream and stay there. Like, I'm real sick of this world. Okay. Let me see what I was going to say. So your tooth would be minerals too. So it would be giving you feedback. And so then it would be, so it's not like I'm envisioning it healing and stuff, but I don't know if, because some of the things on your body is giving you feedback to tell you what it is you need to work on to get it to where it needs to be. Not just, pretend that it's something it's not, which is kind of like, but the thing is I think when we're not in a world where we're being poisoned and all of our metabolic system is being disrupted, that may work. You just envision yourself the way you want to envision yourself. But in this state of mind, in this reality, our vehicle, our avatar, is a feedback system to the world that we reside in. So, like if you touch something, it's hot. If you, it's sharp. It's like it gives us a feedback system so that we can protect ourselves. But in this world of illusion, it's so weird. Everything is just so weird. So, and it is a world of illusion. And this is our vehicle, our spacesuit, in order to go through this world and this dream. But it's weird because, okay, hold a second. I was like, I had this thing and it melted into another thing. Hold on a second. Because it's like, okay, so the avatar, your orb, your energetic you is, then I saw it, that it couldn't just have the experience in its form, so it needs to go into another form to have the experience it's looking for, and that would be the vehicle, the avatar going into that vehicle, which is like this spacesuit that gives a feedback system of your environment. And so there's certain things that our body's telling us that we need to know in this system. But when it gets us more to this higher, like, I don't know, this whole thing with light bodies and I don't know. Because it would make you think, like, well, everybody's going to die. The world's going to blow. We're all going to die. But those of us who believe in this certain way, we're just going to take up another form and start a new reality. And we're just going to look the way we want to look. And we're going to experience the world, but we're going to have a lot more ability over the avatar as our representation, how we want to represent ourselves. So it's not going to be, it's like a leveling up in the spacesuit, kind of, which we're doing all this leveling up in technology and all of that right now. But I don't know, you know, and when I had questioned that before, this was years ago, and I talked about it when I did, and I was questioning that theory before, and I was shown that it would be, you wouldn't even notice. It's not like you're going to notice. It's just like you're driving down the road, and in one reality, the road blows up, but you just keep driving, and then you're just on your new thing. You just drive right through it. It's not like that it's not like you're going to die, go look over it and stuff. It's just like you're just going to bounce into the new reality. And it's like super seamless. It's not like it's going to be like, I don't even know if it would be like a day like we would have, like we were birthed into this reality on this day or something. If it would even be, if it's just going to suddenly, you know, you're just in a different reality. And it seems like that kind of, but then in a higher vibration, we will have a different experience. And I don't think we'll be being poisoned like this. Our body won't be being aged and beat down and sick and all of that. So, anyways, I just was having conversations I had yesterday were going through my head because they were about sick. And I was talking, my mom called me, and her neighbor had called her and was talking to her, and he said, you know, did you know my wife died? And she's like, no. And he died, the person that lives across the street from him, who is her friend, and that husband died of kidney failure, and he had one, but he was also in Nam, and he had you know, the orange stuff agent. And so he and that caused a lot of problems with people in their health and stuff. It caused my uncle to do himself in. He was hallucinating. When he came back, he was in a different world. He was talking to people that weren't there and stuff. And then he did himself in. And it was blamed on that stuff. But, you know, it was all a test. It's a test. We're always on a test. They're testing on us all the time. And anyways, but this guy's wife died like 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after. The other guy across the street died. And hers, my mom said that he said that she was having a bunch of pain, and they did some MRIs. They couldn't find anything. And her pain continued. So then they went and they did another MRI, but they did it from a different position or something. And then they found a tumor on her HEART, and it was the size of a half a football. And they said there's nothing they could do. And so she just had to go home to DIE, and she did in like a month. And the guy was, you know, distraught, devastated. And he was talking to them about his health issues and stuff. So it was, you know, my mom was talking about that stuff. And then earlier in the day, I was talking to my brother, and we were talking about health things and things that happen to you as you age. But a lot of it has to do with, well, some of it has to do with the weakening of your body. Like so many people, because he was even saying, you know, that he'll be, you know, like he has to go on all these things, you know, they got to go deal with sick people, all sorts of things as a fireman. And so, because they're first responders. So as soon as 911 comes, then they send out certain things. And they go all the time. Like they're first on the scene. Like they'll be first on the scene and they'll be told like, oh, somebody is having heart pain or whatever. And they'll get there and there will be all sorts of stuff. Oh my God, they can be DEAD. There was the one that was craziest scene. I talked about it before. I think I've talked about it more than once. But they'll get there and be the first ones on MURDERs and all sorts of stuff. So then they have to say, oh, we need blah, blah, blah to come. There's this going on. So anyways, but they have to go first thing. And so he was talking about, you know, he'll be talking to these people and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's so hard. I'm so old and I can't do this, I can't do that. And then he'll find out like they're younger than him. And it's like, it has so much to do with how you process aging to you, what you do, how you do it. And it's programmed into you. And but we were talking about like the old people like in China and stuff who do Tai Chi and stuff, and they're just out there rocking. They're strong. They don't, and then over here, you know, people don't do that stuff. Like I'm always like tell my mom like, you know, all these little old ladies, they need to be out there doing yoga. They need to be building their core strength and building their pelvic floor back to strength and stuff. But see, they don't. We don't live in this way of this philosophical health and it coming back on us. And we just go into this whole aging. Oh, I'm tired. I'm worn out. I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore. And people become so much more sedentary, which weakens them. Their muscles atrophy. And you just have to keep going. Like if you just keep going, doing a little bit, and building your strength and building your core and stuff like that, you won't ever lose it. I mean, you could be 90, 100 years old and still be going the same you were, but people give up on themselves. They stop. And so, anyways, I was talking about that for a while yesterday with my brother. Hold on. And so, man, my head is being rushed in with so many different things. Okay. Last night was hellacious. Oh my God. I could not believe how horrible it was. And I'm laying there and I'm having like these electrical shocks going through my body. I'm having these weird itches all over my body. I was having this startle, this what all was there? It felt like I was vibrating too fast. It felt like everything felt so weird. And I know it had to be feeling strange for the dogs too, because they were acting weird. But but then I was like, oh, tonight's the winter solstice. So I wonder if there really is something to the energy force or something. I don't know, but it was weird. Last night was weird. And it was so uncomfortable. Oh my God. So then when well, I was being crammed up on, so that keeps me awake somewhat anyways. But whenever I would look over, I was like, man, Stella's sleeping good tonight. And she was going around her bed like a clock, just moving. Because I'm always telling her when she wakes up and she's uncomfortable, it's like, move. You got to move. You got to change positions. And sometimes she'll just be so whiny to me, which today I'm going to call the vet first thing this morning and see about getting them in. So I'm going to take Max and her. And then I'm just going to try and like limit, like I'm just going to ask for her anal glands to be expressed by the vet. And then I'm just going to take her home and see if that improves that other stuff that's going on. And then I'm just going to ask if they'll do his nails and then run labs on him. I'm not going to I'll tell them the symptoms and stuff. This is driving me crazy. I'll tell them the symptoms and stuff, but I don't want them to start, well, we're going to do an ultra, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's like, I just want to see what the labs show. And we'll see, you know, what the lab's showing. If it is like, which I think is, it seems like it's got to be something with his kidneys. It's the weirdest thing how much he can drink and then not pee. It's like, I don't know. So, but I was feeling, my brother was saying, feel around and see if you feel any sensitive places on his stomach or bloating or whatever. I couldn't feel, I was pushing around and he didn't have any reaction. I couldn't feel anything. So it could be just nothing. It could really be that he's just, doesn't like Ruthie and it's just depressed him and he's just a down, you know, but it's weird how he is acting so old now. And even when he eats, it's the weirdest thing. I swear to God, he used to be the fastest and then he'd run over and he'd want to get somebody else's food. And now he's like the slowest. Oh my God, he's so slow. And then when he looks up at you, he's just got food all over his face. So I guess they'll probably, when they do their exam, maybe they'll look in the teeth too. Except for I don't want to be doing all this expensive dental work and stuff that they're having people do. Especially like I'm not doing it on myself. And even this morning though, I was sitting there questioning it like, oh man, should I just go and get it filled and make it just, you know, but I don't know. Or even if you, I don't even know that they could or would at this point, you know, fill it. I have no idea. And I don't want to have it drilled more. And it probably, you know, it could be fragile. I just got to keep going with what I'm trying. And it's so crazy too, because once we finally get into the regular med beds, not all these ones that everybody's coming up with selling people, because there's all sorts of these med bed places opening. And like that one that I checked with was like $1,500. And they aren't the military ones. Some of these are ones that are not going to fix all your stuff. The one that I went to Stella with, people went into that every day. It's just going in for this higher vibration. And then your cells and everything start doing better. But then there's people who say, well, all you got to do is fast. And you have that same situation go. It does all your cells better and stuff. So, anyways, the military med beds, those ones you go into and it really grows back. Like if you've had amputations, it grows those back. All the organs and stuff they've cut out of you grows back, which now people I've found out like, oh, appendix did have a purpose. They try and tell people it has no purpose, but what it is I guess it's like a little pocket, and then when your GI, your bowels run out of good bacteria, it spits more good bacteria out into battle the bad bacteria, because that's what the problem is with most people's GI is it's overrun with the bad bacteria. There's not enough good bacteria, and that's what the whole thing with the what is that called? The stool transplants. So you can take healthy stool from someone else and you put it in a capsule, stick it up there, and you know, like a suppository or something. And then once it opens, then it lets all the good bacteria that these people have into your body. So the good bacteria can battle the bad bacteria. So the whole thing is to keep your biodome or whatever it is in balance. And we get overrun with the bad stuff, but we're under attack all the time. So it is, you know, everybody's just being overrun with the negative and all of the bad bacterias, the parasites that destroy all of this stuff. So, and I did see there's more earthquakes over in it seems that Northern California is having a lot of issues. And so, but there's a lot of issues all on the Pacific Northwest. Oregon has got flooding. I saw flooding in Humboldt in California. So there's more stuff that just keeps going. And so it still is, building. And what we're we on the 22nd. And so I don't know. When that kid who had the NDE, when he said it starts the 19th, and then it goes until the 24th, and then something really big happens. And so I don't know, he didn't give like specific things. Oh, well, there's floods over here, there's things over there. He said when he was being shown, he was looking at something like a calendar, and you could see. But that's the thing that I've said so many times in communication, is the translation. It's trying to translate your information is can be the obstacle. And so, lots of people can see what's coming, but then people want to narrow it down to when is it coming. And that's where it gets to be the hard part. And so it's much more of just like, well, it's coming. Who knows when or how or whatever, but this is coming, these big changes in our landscape, in our atmosphere, in our reality, in our world, in our society. It's all gonna change, and it's gonna be abrupt. It's gonna be like shocking. It's like the shock factor. It is necessary, because the shock factor is the thing that creates change. Hold on. I'm trying to drink less honey. And so it tastes so much more, it tastes better when it's got honey. So, this fucking funk is driving me crazy. Okay, let me think again. So, I got this thing with this Erica Kirk keeps going through my head. It is so, I swear to God, I'm really, really sick of her. I'm just so sick of her being every day. She's out there on a stage talking. Now she's interviewing Nicki Minaj, sitting out there on this stage. It's like, what in the world? I can't imagine being in a relationship. Like, and even if, this whole thing is like, well, he's not even really gone, so why would she be sad? To me, it makes her look like, I don't know. It's like giving her a bad rap, kind of, because she's supposed to be this grieving widow, and she's playing this totally phony, fake. And then she's so out there, and everything is just this money and power and what they're gonna do. And interview Nicki Minaj. What in the world are you trying? You're trying to pull in a certain group, and then you think like, oh well, if we have Nicki, we'll get all these people. It's like, and Nicki, and then this whole debacle of what Nicki says, and it's like, this is fucking staged. I mean, she didn't even pull that line very well. It's like, you should have practiced it more, because it looks so freaking staged. And why would you call the VP an assassin? What would even make you have that reference in your mind? Oh yeah, the assassin, our VP JD. So, oh, and then to realize like, oh wait a minute, what did I say? It's like, that was too ridiculous. It was too motherfucking ridiculous. And it's just to set up the line for fucking Nerica. Oh my God, I'm so sick and tired of her. And I'm not looking for her. She just pops up all the time. I'm not looking for her, I'll tell you that. And then Nicki's sitting there. Oh my God. It's like, why, if you're going to have fake hair, then why have it be so extreme? I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's not like, you're going to grow your hair down past your ass. You're just going to go have this hair put on, and then it's just like, I am just a lot different than a lot of this stuff. It's like it's so strange to me. And then and I don't want to be judgmental. It's like you do you, but I think it's strange. I think it's really weird. But I'm not saying you're a bad person. But I do think like, what is the point? And is it to show like I have a lot of money? I paid $20,000 for my hair, probably even more than that. And then that, which makes me think about this other woman that I saw about yesterday. And she's darker persuasion. And she is so she had charges, 20 charges of like fraud or something. And they gave her what is that? A plea deal. So they gave her a plea deal of 5 years. She could take the deal 5 years, and she's got 6 kids, mind you. And so she said no. She wanted to go to court. So she went to court. She lost. She got 20 years now. And then when you find out what her crimes are, then it's like, so she figured out how to do this, kind of like what I was talking about yesterday. And it's something through a SIM switch or something. So when I don't know if it's like you, but it's the same thing. I'll call the person, say you're from their cell company, and you do this, and then you get access into their stuff, and then you drain their accounts. And she was doing this to old people. So she was going and draining old people's accounts and taking all their money. And what even makes it sicker is she had an Instagram that she was going around. So people didn't know where she was getting her money, you know. And her whole thing was all like, you know, getting Gucci and going shopping and riding in limos and you know, throwing dollar bills out, you know, just like excess and just really, and they and then people started being like, oh my God, when people found out about her crimes, and it's like, oh my God, you're just spending these other people's money like this, which is a big thing on, there's even a documentary on, I think there's two on Netflix. And because these scammer guys, so they'll go meet a woman who's got money. I mean, they're going to do it for a poor woman. So they'll go meet a woman who's got money. And then they'll wine and dine and love bomb her and get her to, oh, let them move in real quick or whatever. Then they will start getting her money. Some of them won't even move in. Some of them will do this without even being there. They'll just, oh, well, I got a problem on my account. You know, I'm a millionaire, but there's a problem on my account. Could you just send me $100,000 real quick? So they'll be taking this woman's money, and they're going and spending it on the next woman. So they're just in this cycle. If they're taking this woman's money, spending on the next woman, then as soon as he starts getting that one, he starts signing up for the next one, and it's just this constant rotation. And so all these women are being scammed out of tons of money by these guys doing that. And one of them, I think, was that he did live with her. I can't remember. I don't know. But anyways, there's a couple of those kinds of things on there, these scammers that do that. But but it would show, you know, how they were spending the money on these big trips and doing all of this, you know, flamboyant things for this person, whining and dining them just to get access to their money. It's just, but they get to live this lifestyle. Well, that's kind of like what this lady was doing. She was taking these people's money and then going around limos, going shopping in these expensive stores, bringing out tons of bags, doing her Instagram showing, you know, and then posing in all her cute clothes and stuff is really disgusting. And then, and how can you just be thieving these people's money and then just be so blatantly like, you know, so happy about it? Now she's got 20 years. So now somebody else has to raise her 6 kids. It's like, man, the selfishness out here in this world. And there's this other case that's going to trial, I guess, right now, is this couple who brought home their baby and tortured and did all sorts of things to it, and it made it 9 days, and then it didn't go anymore. And so they've got charges. There's another one of 18 months. There's so many of these. Then the guy who left his 2-year-old out in the car while he was in there watching porn that day in Arizona heat of 106 degrees or something. That and then the kid died. The kid was in there for hours, and the kid died. And he was known to do this too. He just would leave him in the car all the time, and I think he would even go in bars and stuff and sit and drink and leave his kids in the car. And so then now he was going to have to go to jail. Like he was having to go in for his sentence. Like it was time for him to go, and he already went through his court and got sentenced and everything. And then he was going to have to go to jail. And so it was like, I don't know, the weekend before he was supposed to show up, and he went out and started his car and put the hose in, and I think he is gone. I don't think that they saved him. I think he's gone. But that guy, he's in the news right now. Then and then there's just so many of these people just doing horrible things to their kids. And there's so much with this, torture, and just and people letting other people do things to their kids. It's like, God, what has happened to that part of like feeling like you would protect your child and you would do anything to protect them? What has happened in people? Like, have they not, is that like something in your soul? You got to be connected to your soul to have that part of you that's going to protect something that you gave birth to. And it isn't even just that, because the dads too, he didn't give birth to it, but it still is like, there's something so missing in our society. And, I know that they've disconnected people's soul. And I don't know if that is, you got to be connected to your soul to have any kind of compassion for your child. I mean, even this mom, it's like, but why would, and the guy who was doing it with her, did it with a fella, and he took the plea deal and he got 1 year. So he's going to be out in a year, which he'll be out in 6 months or something, ready to do it some more. She's going to be in there 20 years. And now her kids have it's like, you don't even give a crap about your kid. Like, take the 5 years, and you're so fucking egotistical that you think you can do this crime and then plead no, not guilty and get away with it. Like, they had so much evidence apparently on her, and she, I don't know, is she just like real ignorant? Like, she doesn't understand how the law works or something? I don't know. People are so driven by this consumption and this consumerism, and that, like, if you're wearing Gucci, that makes you a good person. Well, I mean, we're living in two different worlds then. Which, I saw this guy talking this morning, and he said that we are living in two different worlds. I mean, we're living in a whole bunch of different worlds. And he said, don't you find it strange that no matter what it is you're looking for, you can find it? So if you want to find out, is meat bad for you, you can go find information that's going to confirm meat is not good for you. If you think meat is good for you, you're going to go out and you're going to find information that's going to confirm meat is good for you. If you think aliens are real, you're going to go out, you're going to find information that confirms to you aliens are real. If you go out and you confirm that, or you believe that they aren't, and you go look for information, then you're going to find information that says no, that is silly. And it's the same on all the different things. And so he's saying, you think like the government's corrupt, you're going to go find information that says it is. If you think this world is out to get you, you're going to find information that says it is. And then he said, so isn't it better to believe things are going to get better, and to go out and look for information that proves to you that things are getting better, so that you go into a world that things get better, because the world becomes what it is you believe it is. And that's like what I'm talking about. And when I say that about, you've got to figure out, like when I say, learn to love yourself, learn to love everybody, and learn to have the day you want to have, it has to do with how you perceive. It has to do with what it is. Like people who are looking for, and there's all these people who are trapped in this, I mean, that's how they stay in this division and stuff. They're trapped on the blue side is right, the red side is right, and their information is limited into the confirmation bias that they're looking for, and then they stay divided on it and they feed into it, and that's where this TDS and stuff comes from. It becomes like over the top, and to me it is better, and I do think it is, and it is that the people who do believe like we're going into a better place, there's gonna be a bunch of bad things that are gonna happen, but it's going to change people, so we're gonna go into a better place, things are gonna get better, and so those of us who believe that, we will go into a place that's going to be better. And then other people who don't believe that, who, need to play out this negative timelines, this division and all that stuff, they'll go into that kind of world where they continue to play out those things that they are stuck on. And that's why, I say all the time about, you got to dissect yourself. You got to really have a hard look at yourself so that you can let go of these things, because they're traps. They'll hold you, they'll bind you. And so, but how he was explaining is exactly what I'm talking about. You have to learn how you want to see things. Like, do you want to just look at everything as like it's out to get you? And it's that same kind of concept too as with that guy with this that made those scars on those people's faces and then told them to go out and talk. And the people thought they were being judged by everybody because they had this hideous scar on their face. And so they felt insecure, and they felt like everybody, is looking at them and doesn't like them and all of that stuff. And that comes from within. And so I don't know, it all goes together to me. Just like, looking at these little kid gospel singers and thinking like they're, the teacher or somebody is out to make fun of people or be mean to people or something. It's like it all has to do with how you look at things, and how you look at things and how you perceive is more of how you are built, and that's the part that you need to kind of decompensate, destruct, take yourself apart to build yourself back up, because you will find in your broken side of yourself, you will look at things wrong. You will look at them insecure. You will take things the wrong way. And that's the part where you're reactive. That's when you're in your lower chakra and you are reactive to other things because you're insecure and you feel bad about yourself. And so that's why you got to work on yourself so that you don't have those things, and you can be more open to things, and you can like guide yourself into the perception that you want to have, like, and that was even his reference too. If you want to believe that things are going to get better, and start looking for those things, and you'll find that information. And like I do, and I don't go and look for it necessarily, it just comes to me. That's why I say the algorithm thing is, there's more to it than what people think. But because I get things coming to me all the time about the silver and stuff, and there's some countries now that are don't have any or something, that they are not giving it to anybody else. It's like everything is shutting down on the silver, and which is such a good sign. And I had said something somebody was talking about it on their post, and I said something in the comments like, I'm so glad I invested in silver. And this guy, so it was two, because I was getting all these comments. So two people commented on my thing, and then they started going back and forth. And then I was like, when I was reading them, I was like, it sounds like this guy is being like, you know, well, unless you've invested $1 million, you're never going to make it. You know, it's like big deal and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? It's going to go up a lot. Doesn't matter how much you invested. It's good. It's a good investment. And he's like, oh, I'm aware of that. That is exactly why I did and stuff. And it's like, okay. But what I'm saying is, you know, and he starts going through this thing again. I just didn't even call. I didn't even say anything. I just like ignored him. But like his idea is you'd have to take you'd have to have all this money, then you'd have to take it all, go buy silver, and then you'll be doing okay. Then you'll be okay. And it's like, well, you're not even taking into account the economy crashing and money not having the same value anyways. You're still thinking like people are going to need $1 million. People are not going to need all that. You're not going to be needing what they have been marketing to us this whole time, which gets all of these, you know, people committing crimes to have these things. And the economy is going to change. There's even, I saw a video talking about the taxes, and in the Constitution, it says that they cannot take from us. They cannot, like, if we go out and we make something, they can't take it as their own. And that's in the, you know, where they don't want us to go into that. They want us to be in the corporate law, not in the constitutional. And that's what Donald is trying to make this shift. That's why a businessman came in to destroy the corporation because there's a piece of paper back there that gives us our God-given rights. And we are here to get to enjoy living and to experience. And so they can't be taxing. In this thing I was saying, the country was doing way better before they started doing it. And why would we need to pay them? You know, they should be, you know, they can have their own, you know, go do a car wash. You need money. You know, why are you trying to take ours? We have to go out and work for ours. Don't just take a part of ours, hard work. But that's how they've built this whole system. And that's under, you know, all this corporate law and stuff. Like there's a lady in Pennsylvania. It was an old lady. She's like 85 years old. Her house is paid off. She got sick, had to go in the hospital, got behind on her taxes, which is so fucking absurd. I swear to God, it pisses me off. And so $3,500. And they took her motherfucking house and they auctioned it for $14,000 to some motherfucker. You know, it's some motherfucking LLC. And it's like, take this. God damn. I swear to God, this shit should be fucking illegal. We should all be up in arms for this shit. We should all be fucking, you know, this is outrageous what they're doing. And it's so fucking corrupt, man. And so what, you know, now what is she gonna be homeless? Like, she didn't have a house payment. She's on Social Security. She didn't have a house payment. And now, how is she gonna be able to pay $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 a month? She doesn't even make that much. You can't even live in an old folks home unless you got like $35,000 or $5,000. And if you don't even have property that they can fucking take away from you, you're fucked. I mean, I swear to God, I am so, God, this is, oh God. And so anyways, but when this whole friggin' BS bullshit finally collapses, that the economy is not going to go into this inflation how it was. They're not going to be able to tax us, which here in Idaho, I had no idea. They tax you on groceries. I was like, well, I went to the grocery store the other day and I was just getting water. I just had like, I'd ordered my groceries online, and so I'd paid for those. And then I just had a few bucks and I was just going to get some water. And it was the day before payday. So I go up there to do that. And so I had it all figured out. Well, not only did they raise the water per gallon now it's 60 cents per gallon. God damn. For fucking water, man. Which is probably coming right out of the goddamn fucking hose. So fucking absurd. And then, which I got to take this water in and have it tested. But anyways, it'd be hard to drink just because the smell of it. I just don't know. It's really strong smelling. And but my brother has this big fancy ass filter system he bought, and he said he can put that on, but it will make it where it takes out everything. And but I said, well, don't do that yet, because I want to see if this iron is changing my hair. And so, but once he comes, he's coming in, he thinks he's coming in January, but they're supposed to be coming to stay in like February or March or something. And and that's all, as long as there's no fucking the state falling off. But I think I'll have him just go ahead and put it on. And by then I should be able to see, like, is this doing any, um, ugh, am I absorbing this iron, and is it helping and with my mineral content. And so anyways, I go off on these fucking branches, and it's like, what? Where was I? Go back. I gotta reel back in. Okay, so the water. Oh yeah. So anyways, I go up there, and I'm paying for the thing, and it's more. And I said, okay, well, I'll just get 6 gallons. I'm not gonna take one of them off. And then she said the thing, and I said, is there, and at this point, I still didn't know that it had gone up. I didn't know that until I went to start filling up the waters, and it's posted up there. But then, so I said, is there taxes? And she goes, yes. Like I was an idiot. And I said, there's taxes on food? And she goes, yes. What are you talking? There's always been taxes on food. Where are you from? I was like, well, I've been living in Washington State. We don't have taxes on food. So, yeah, it's kind of throwing me here. So, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know all the different rules in all the different states. Like in Washington, our tax is 8.5%, but we aren't taxed on food. We're taxed on every other motherfucking thing, but we're not taxed on food. And so here, I haven't even figured out like what all the deal is here. And it's weird because I know our gas is cheap, because I got it for $2.89 the other day, and I know like somebody out, I saw other people on there, some places are paying like $1.99 for gas, $1.95, even cheaper. And so ours is still extreme over here, but in Washington State, it was usually 50 cents to 80 cents more expensive per gallon. And then you go to California, I don't even know what Oregon's is. I think Oregon's is, I think, about equal, like, with Washington. But in California, it's even like $1 more. And but it's weird because in Spokane, we were right on the border of Idaho, and so many people would go over to get gas and do some grocery shopping, because groceries would be cheaper. I don't know that they're cheaper now. And then I didn't realize like the tax. I didn't realize we were paying taxes on food, because we would have been back then too. And I know I went over there and went grocery shopping before, but I don't think I did regularly. Like, definitely we went over there and bought gas, liquor. People would go over there and buy liquor. It was way cheaper because Washington State started a liquor tax. And on the liquor tax, it was like 24%. And it was huge. And so lots of people crossed over to go buy cigarettes, liquor, and stuff like that into Idaho. But maybe I didn't do a lot of grocery shopping over there. But I know people who do, that they go, because we were even talking to one of Mom's neighbors, and she was like, oh, I always go to Idaho to do my grocery shopping. I like their Costco and their grocery outlet are really nice. And which I went into both of them. I didn't see them as being any nicer than the other. But now to know, like, well, it's not really cheaper because you're paying taxes. But I don't even know what all states are having to pay taxes on food. It just was like, I haven't in so long. I was like, man, that just seems like, God dang. God, I just can't even, like, it's extreme. Everything is so extreme on and how they keep us just trapped in their system. Just, like, fuck, man. So, but when this whole thing behind the silver and gold is, once that becomes a thing, and then we go in this quantum system and all that stuff, that it's the economy is gonna fall. That's what is going. That's the main thing, is this crashing of this current currency, because it is corrupted. It's counterfeit. It's just like the coin, which now I've even heard. I said that this coin, the bit was created for this corruption, so they could do it behind a bush online, so people like wouldn't be found. They're doing it under this instead of under their account. So then, and it can't be traced the same way. And why would you need that if you weren't doing really bad things? And so it was used a lot on the dark. And and I had said it was created for this dark, trading, and and that there was nothing to give it any substance, that it was sold as, others are getting it, so it's raising it and stuff. So it's like this pyramid Ponzi scheme thing. And so now that's come out too, that is true. That supposedly Jeffrey was a part of the creation of it. So, yeah, I've said before, that's going to go by. And it's corrupt, just like our current currency is corrupted. And it's all, a big scheme to take from us and then put it in this system that it travels, and it has stops, which in the micro, macro, everything is like that. I was going past because I was passing that Simplot place again, and all those trains, and it was making me think about, so weird, because for so long I didn't realize, like, the shipping containers, then they put them on the trains, and then they travel them all over the place and take them where they need to go, and what's really on those containers. And it was just like, I don't know, you just have these little weird epiphanies sometimes. But in the micro macro, that is how everything in their world, that they keep it going. So in their money system, it's the same thing, take and then drop it off where they want to drop it off. And so it's corrupted, and that's where these corrupt people, then they want to be a stop on the route to be able to, get a little bit of that, so that they play their part, so that they can be a part of that system. But that system is going, and when it goes, they're going to do a whole reevaluation. Like, things are going to drop in price. Houses, cars, everything is going to go cheap. Like, it's crazy over in China. You can buy these brand new fucking cars like Teslas. They're like $5,000. It's like, what in the world? And over here, I'm like, fuck, you got to pay $100,000 for this motherfucker? So it is, I couldn't even believe when cars started going up in price. It is so crazy. Especially, like, it was years and years. You could go spend a couple $100 and buy a car. And then it started going up. Well, you had to have 1,000. Then it was a couple thousand. Then it was 10,000. Then it was 20,000. Then 30,000. It's like, God damn. And then as soon as you drive off the lot with a $30,000 car, it's worth 15. It's like, it's a ridiculous fucking system. It just sucks the life out of us. And so that is all changing. So this idea that you have to have millions of dollars to make it is absurd. It's not true. And anything that you invested into different things besides, this currency, because some people invested in the X and the R and the P. Some people invested in gold. Some people invested in silver. Some people invested in copper, I guess. Like, there's all sorts of things that people could invest into. And then there's lots of people who, still don't see it coming. And but it was really good. But I had no idea how good of an investment it was. Like, I didn't know they were already so shorted on it. I didn't know there wasn't that much of this, not the gold, but the other. And now that they're closing it down all over the place, well, there's all these things that still need to be made with it. So that makes it more valuable until they go out and start like mining it or wherever they get more of it. And then on top of that, the why it's going to raise so much in value, because I had heard way back, like 5 years ago, that it was probably going to go to like 10,000 an ounce. And right now they're making a big deal that it's at like $70. And that's where this guy's like, yeah, that's not so great. Like, no, it's supposed to go way up. It's like, you got to look at the long game, buddy. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. Like, you think you need $1 million worth of it? Okay. And so in the future, because this is part of the whole thing where we get up with the med beds, the technology. So in order to keep their system running, to keep us on rubber and plastic and patrol all their bullshit, that they anyone who had inventions, which their inventions come from out in the great mind, then they would red tie them to get rid of them, but they would tuck away the patents and stuff. Like, somebody would put in and they'd have this idea and they've been working on it. And that's where this whole thing with like these people who had discovered, like, you can turn water into gas, you can turn plastic into something that your cars can run out. Like, these people who have been discovering that, and then they've just disappeared. And which I think is a part of the show. But because in the past, when the people would put in for their patent, and then they would have then they would be discovered, and then they would be red tied, and then they would take their information and they would hide it, like in their their black programs. And so there is supposedly like thousands of patents of high technology things that can help us that are going to be coming out. And one I heard is something about something with silver, and it's like, I don't know, it kind of makes me think about like how these protective clothes that like knights used to wear. So I don't know if it's like some sort of protective clothing or something, but it's supposedly made out of silver, which is going to drive the price way up, and especially when there's not that much of it. So that's where it's going to go up and up and up. You don't just like, once it's worth 600. Well, you can do what you want if you've got some. And then when it's worth 600, you can go take it and change it in for there. But there's a projection that's going to go way, way up. And the balance is going to tilt. So right now, where the inflation is way, way up, that's going to go way down. And then the value of this is going to go way up. So it's going to make a shift. And it's so that, to me, when that guy is sitting there saying like you have to have $1 million worth and stuff like that in order to be comfortable, otherwise it's just big deal that you've got some. It's like, dude, it was like, you're not realizing what's going on in the world. And I had said something like that in one of the comments. I said, it seems that you don't understand that the silver is going to go way up beyond that. The projection is 10,000 an ounce. And he's like, I'm perfectly aware. I've been watching this for years. But so then why don't you understand, like, the scales are about to tilt, the things are about to flip. It's like, why do you just think this? And you're stuck in this three-dimensional kind of matrix concept of that you need $1 million to be able to survive. It's like, no, it's not going to be like that. Things are going to be way different. And so that's where you got to think outside the box. It's so important to think bigger and better and outside the box, not in the trappings that they have created for you. an idea, like, I mean, so everybody in the tribes before, they were living good lives and stuff, and until they came in and started slaughtering them, and they weren't having millions of dollars. It's like, if that's what you think you need to live a good life, then, I guess, and then if you don't have it, sit and cry about it. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It's the same thing of like, what it is you look at is going to become your reality. And if you're always thinking you don't have enough, then you don't have enough. You're telling yourself, like, if you, and especially if you go into this idea that we're making the world that we want, that we believe in, then I would say, focus on the flipping the scales of, the inflation dropping, and the what you need to make it in this world is going to come to you easier. Like, if you're not having to pay house payments, you're not having to pay taxes, you're not having to pay for resources, it's going to be way different. You're not going to need all this money. Like, what would you be needing it for? Especially if our travel changes, we're not having to go and play corporations to go on their fake ass fucking planes, which, if you haven't even seen the thing about the gasoline and the planes, that's just another thing. And I said, for so long, it's probably like a ride. And we're just going, and then they just open it up, it's like there's something so weird about how the traveling, because we're not on this globe, we're not on this plane of existence, we're in these realms of realities, and then they're zipping us around and going, I think they're going through portals and stuff, but because they have to stay on their flight patterns, so they can't leave their flight patterns. And there's beings that are, above the pay grade of all of the humans that are sitting here creating or keeping the system alive. But once we go into this higher technology, we're going to be traveling different. They're supposed to be, I mean, they've already got this train in Japan or something. It goes like hundreds of miles in 2 minutes or something. And then the one that supposedly is underneath us, that the certain people use to zip around, it supposedly goes from New York to Japan in like 3 minutes. So travel is going to be changing. And if we're going to be in cars that fly around, all we got to do is learn, the routes, and we can get around to where we want to go and get there way faster. And then there's not going to be the same thing with gas. Like, everything is going to be changing. We're going to be in this, more of a Tesla world of the free energy. Like, your car is not going to need to be gassed up. It's going to go off of the energy, and everything is going to be changing. So yeah, I wouldn't listen to people like that. Yeah, well, it's going, but it's, unless you've got $1 million, just forget about it. You're going to be poor. Don't listen to those people. It's like they are lost somewhere. They're not seeing the bigger picture. They're stuck on money or something. I don't even know. You see, he just kept on going, and it's like, dude, I do not have the energy, or I don't even give a fuck. Think what you want. I don't care. I was like, I'm gonna go in my world. I'm going towards the reality I believe. You go towards the one you want to believe. I don't give a crap. And I'll be glad that we won't be in a world that is so lacking compassion, even for your own kids and stuff. And then so much stuff too it's becoming so mainstream now, the truth behind the education system and who created it and why they created it. And they were just creating a way to create workers. And the guy who I was listening to this morning, he was talking about, that's how they tell you where to sit. They just try and feed you information and see what you can remember and all that. Plus, they're always looking for, it's just testing and looking for certain personality types. It's all about control and conformity. And then it is just preparing you to be a productive citizen in their world as a worker bee. And yeah, they don't want any queens. They just want workers. and they want us all to be workers and compliant, and that's why that anybody who stands up to them or thinks outside of the box, that they want to destroy them, and have everybody laugh at them and gang up on them. And so that's why it's important to, I don't know, not be bothered by the group think tank or something. I saw this guy talking again about that one experiment too, of when they had the people come. So why they did it was because the NAZIs, that they had said, well, they had to do what they were told. And so that's why, well, we've got no problem just slaughtering all these people, which I don't even think this whole cost of the whole was ever even, I think it was, I mean, they're constantly doing these these sides, but they aren't, I'm out there on the crazy, because I don't believe all these storylines that they've told us. And so, but in this storyline that they ask the Yahtzees, well, why would you do that? And they, well, we had to do what we were told. And so some Sanford Sanford says, some Stanford professor decided, well, it might have been Yale, one of those, decided they were going to do a study, and that they were going to see, what people really, how people will comply. And he said that all these scientists got together and they all came up with what they thought would happen. And they thought that only 0.8 or something of the people would comply. And so they did, and it's the experiment with the electrocution thing. So they put in their ad, and they have all these people come. And on the other side of the wall is an actor, but they don't know he's an actor. And so, and then they're supposed to ask him questions, and every time he gets them wrong, they're supposed to shock him. And so the guy on the other side of the wall is an actor, and so he's, screaming, and he gets every question wrong. And then he's screaming. And then they got to keep turning up the power behind the shock. And at 250 can be deadly. And he said 100% compliancy on the 250. Every single person had no problem electrocuting a stranger. And then he said that once it got up, and at some point around 250 or 300, the guy on the other side starts saying, I want out. I don't want to do this. I've got a heart condition and all that stuff. And then I think around 350 or 4, the guy stops talking. He just doesn't talk. And so they keep looking over to the guy in the white coat. Well, what do I do now? What do I do now? And he said, keep going, keep going. And the, and then they said, well, he doesn't answer. And they say, well, then that counts as a no. So just give him his shock. And so they keep going up into 450, even when they think that they've already given the guy a heart attack. They'll keep going. He said 65 or 67% of the people will keep going. 67% of the people will kill a stranger by electrocuting them without it. It's like, what in the world? I can't even imagine. I think when I very first did it and heard the person scream on the other side, I'd be, I'm out, man. I'm not doing this. I can't imagine that I would go. It's so weird. Sometimes it's like, I wish I would get called into some of these studies, because I'll see these ones, even these ones where the people go into a room and they're supposed to be going for an interview or something, and all the other people are just sitting in the room when they get there. And so then they walk in, they sit down, and then there's like a bell or something that goes off, and then all the people stand up. And so the new person, it will like look around, like, and I think I'm like a second or third time, they'll just start standing up with the rest of the people. They just start conforming and doing what everybody else is doing, because they don't want to look like the oddball who doesn't know what they're doing. So they just follow the crowd. And no matter if it makes no sense, they don't even ask anybody, what are you guys doing? Why are you doing that? They just start doing it with them. And then when I see that kind of stuff, I just think, no way. There's no way I would do that. I would be like, well, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I'm not doing it. So, and I can't imagine I would go in and start electrocuting somebody so I don't know, a lot of these ones, I feel like I wouldn't do it. And even that one big one where it becomes, half the people are the jailers and half of the people are the guards. And that they start falling into certain patterns when they play these roles. And it's more conformity too, and it's more power structure. And I don't know, I don't know, I see this stuff and I just think I wouldn't do that. I don't know, I kind of, would like to get pulled into one of these studies and really see, would I do that? Because I don't think I would. I don't think I would do any of this stuff that I see them doing in this study. I just feel like it's not something I would do. So I don't know, but maybe at different times in my life, maybe when I was younger, maybe I would. I don't know. Especially now, I can't imagine I would just conform into, but who knows? I mean, we all have some kind of sense of wanting to be accepted and falling in with certain groups and then going along with the group think, which I saw another video talking about the quantum mind, and it was saying that the scientists have discovered that our thoughts are not inside of us, they're in a field outside of us, which I've been saying that's where you want to start. You're already in that field, but people don't realize, like, what you've got going on in your mind is not just your thoughts, it's a communication happening, and you're overlooking it and you're just stuck in your head. But there is all of this where now I guess they're trying to figure out, well, if all of our thoughts are outside of us, which is telepathy, which is the access of being able to, and it's so crazy, when you start paying attention, like you think about somebody and then they'll call you and they'll start talking about what you were thinking about. And then but now they're saying, well, that our memories must be stored out in some sort of a cloud kind of thing or something, which I don't know, because when I got my brain injury, it affected my memories, and I had a real problem with short-term memory, and I had lost a huge amount of my past. So my long-term memory was affected, which there still is effects now, but they're so much better, and I can access so much more information, and I can remember things so much better than I did. But I still have things that I don't remember. But when I had it happen, then I was like trying to figure, like, well, where is your memory at? And it seemed like that there, especially because it started getting better, it was like it was the road to get there kind of was got messed up, like a landslide through the road to get there. And back when my memory was fully functioning, it was going well, that I would see it, like when I was trying to remember something, it would be like I would go into this system, and then I would see all these files going and they would be moving, and then I would access into a file. And so it was like a whole way to get into like memories. So I don't know, when I heard somebody else talking about that, um how to access memories. I think I've heard two different people saying something about it, and it was like similar. So, I don't know. You can pay attention to when you're trying to remember something. How do you get there? What is it? Because there's something more to it. And I don't know if it is out in some field outside of us and we're having to go into this Akashic record field or something to go access it. We're, trying to access our higher self, the all knowing, and trying to find information. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do know that our thoughts are not going on inside of our mind like people think, and that there is constant communication, and there is this field of communication that I would call, the universal mind or something. It's like this access field of communication, and there's lots of communication out there, and you're always have got somebody somewhere talking to you. And so to think like it's all your own thoughts is like disregarding an important part of your existence, kind of. So anyways, there's more information coming out on that, which is all going to be helping us. You know, there's a lot of information that's going to keep coming out. It's going to help us, because then we're going to, start spending more time, meditate, start trying to slow down and listen to what it is that we have going on in there, and communicate back, talk back to it, and start a conversation. But you got to also be aware of the vibration of what it is you're communicating with. Because if you're really low down and low vibration and stuff like that, then you're going to be communicating with other low vibration, and because of your field of access. And so I saw this video the other day, or yesterday I think. It was a little girl, and the parents were saying she completely changed. And while I was listening to it, I was thinking, I think people think like there's what is that called, when the exorcist had to come out and get the devil out of her, get the demon off of her or whatever. But the way I see it is you get, I'm still scrolling, you get this low vibration, and you get all these attachments to you. So you go through something, you get all these attachments of this low vibration, and it feeds information into you, negative information. And when you it's more of the feedback system. So if you start feeding off of that and start responding to it, and you become that of the negative communication, then yeah, it would seem kind of like you are possessed. And you kind of are possessed by these entities that are dark, feeding information. And I think that, a lot of the stuff that goes on, because they got no problem. Oh yeah, get a knife, go in there. Which another person now is done in the same thing. Like there's something more to this whole Reiner and all this stuff. And then even that one guy talking about during this time of Hanukkah, that there is this, it's really a time of sacrifice, like these sacrifices. So I don't know, there's so much stuff that is above our pay grade so far. Like so much for us to learn and know about. But these people who do feed into these negative entities and go do this stuff, it does seem like they're possessed. But it's like their choices. And it's like you're surrounded by this information, and it becomes your information. That's why you got to break free. You got to be thinking like, I've got a lot of negative around me. And so that's a sign that I'm in a really dark space. I'm in a low vibration. How do I start moving out of this low vibration and raise myself up? Well, a lot of it is you got to let go of shit. And they're great. When you've got these heavy spirit or these heavy entities on you, sucking from you, then you have got, it's a battle. It's a spiritual battle to pull free from their influence over you. And so it's work, and they're not going to let go easily. I mean, when they have this whole thing about they got to have a preacher come in and pray over you, throw water on you, practically. But you've got to do it yourself. And it isn't like you have to go pray over yourself or something. To me, it is way more just start doing higher vibration things. Start doing things that make you happy. Do kind services. Go paint pictures. Don't go paint something if you're gonna feel like, oh God, I'm the worst, I'm horrible, I hate myself, I'm the worst painter. You got to remember that's them influencing you too. But turning on music and dancing and singing and opening the curtains and having the light come in, and go out, walk around, around bodies of water. Go out in nature. Go sit in a chair and on a bench at a park and watch the birds and the squirrels play. Do stuff and just keep doing things to try and raise your vibration. But when you're way down like that, and like they're saying, like their little girl became like this little demon or something. She became a totally different person. It's like, you got a lot of work to do to break free from that. And it's like they've got a strong hold on you. So, when they're just in your mind constantly giving you negative thoughts, and perspectives, then that's where you got to start noticing it and just fight back. Just hit it back to them. Like, I don't need that. Shut the fuck up. That's what I always say. Shut the fuck up. So, anyways, but that's that. That's what I got to say about it. That's what I got to say for the day. and I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen today. So the 22nd, but I know, I do believe in that thing. Like, nobody knows the day or time and whatever's going to happen, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That's the thing. So many people think, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I don't know. I mean, there is a lot of stuff happening. There's lots of flood and weather things. There's all sorts of things going on. And, so we'll just see how it keeps building and where it is that I know where we're going to end up. I know where I'm going to end up. It's going to be a place where people like each other and we're not being enslaved by a force that is trying to govern over us. And it's going to be a place where people are kind to each other and you don't need to work your ass off in order to survive. You get to go out and enjoy being alive. So that's where I'm going. That's where I'm staying focused. I'm focusing on that and I'm heading that direction. So we all got to go where we want to go, but it is a good idea to start, figuring it out where it is you want to go. And because a lot of people, they do just focus on the negative and they get caught up in the dramas and the hatefulness and thinking these other people are stupid and being divisive and hateful and stuff. And that's where you'll stay stuck, in that place, in that realm of existence. So anyways, I was gonna say the cue, the clue, the goal is to pull yourself free from all of that and to move towards this idea of that you are eternal and you're sovereign and you can live how you want to live and do what you want to do, and that they are trying to control and contain you. And so you got to let go of all of the stuff and all the things that you've done, all the things that you've felt like you had to do to survive or whatever, in order to gain this adoration for yourself, to start admiring yourself and to think that you're a good person and that you are worth something, that you have value. That's what you got to build up to. And so anyways, but it is a little bit of work. And so, but the place to always go towards is this concept of loving yourself and learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else. Because if you want to be in a world where people are loving you, you got to be loving them. And so you want to learn how to love everybody else. You want to learn how to have the day you want to have, because it really does. You can see it playing out. These people who focus on this negative, bitter, hateful, divisive, judgmental attitude towards each other, which I feel like I'm even judging Nicki Minaj's hair and Erica Kirk in her morning BS. But I think it's all just a big fucking show. It's a big fucking show, and you gotta notice, like, it's ridiculous. Like, the whole show is just, it's absurd. And I don't know. And so anyways, that's what I gotta say about it. So we'll see what the show brings us today. It'll be some more absurd shit, I'm sure. So, but don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in the dramas. Just watch it. Just sit back and watch the show. And yesterday, I watched a whole bunch of Christmas shows. I think they were very happy. I may just do that again today. Sit back, watch some Christmas shows, and sleep on and off with the dogs throughout the day. Because it's another rainy day here. It's total shit out. So, anyways, but we'll see how the day goes, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.